Welcome to Svalbard, an isolated archipelago in the far north of Norway, often referred to as the end of the world. This remote land offers a rare blend of untouched beauty and extreme Arctic conditions that draw adventurous travelers year-round. From its rugged mountains to the mystery of its continuous daylight and polar night, Svalbard is a place like no other on Earth. With polar bears, glaciers, and the famous Doomsday Vault, there's so much to explore. But could you handle living in a place where the sun doesn't rise for months and danger is always just a step away? Join us in this travel documentary as we dive into the realities of Svalbard, an Arctic wonderland filled with unique laws, rare wildlife, and a captivating yet challenging way of life. A unique firearm law for protection. One of the first things visitors notice when stepping onto Svalbard's frozen terrain is the abundance of firearms. You see, Svalbard has more polar bears than people, over 3,000 polar bears roam these icy lands, which is why both locals and visitors must be prepared for potential encounters with these majestic but dangerous predators. Since 2012, a unique law requires that anyone leaving the settlement must carry a firearm. But this isn't just a casual rule. Strict regulations surround the ownership and usage of guns. Before anyone can arm themselves, they must complete a safety course and obtain a valid hunting license. You'll see everyone, from tourists to mothers with strollers, equipped with rifles or flare guns. However, don't expect to stroll into a supermarket while armed. Guns must be left in designated lockers before entering public places. Have you ever imagined living in a place where carrying a firearm was part of your daily routine? For the people of Svalbard, it's simply a way of life. These rules are enforced by the local police, and violations can lead to hefty fines or even deportation. Safety in this Arctic wilderness is no joke. Endless daylight and perpetual darkness. One of the most fascinating aspects of Svalbard is its unique relationship with the sun. Imagine waking up at midnight only to see the sun shining brightly in the sky, or going about your day for months on end without ever seeing a hint of daylight. Due to its location deep within the Arctic Circle, Svalbard experiences 4 months of continuous sunlight, known as the midnight sun, from April to August. The land bathes in a surreal, perpetual daylight, which creates a strikingly beautiful landscape perfect for photography and outdoor exploration. But what happens after August? From October to February, Svalbard plunges into complete darkness, a time called the polar night. During these months, the sun never rises, leaving the region cloaked in the moon's glow, starlight, and the occasional northern lights. The endless night can be a tough experience with both physical and mental challenges. Lack of sunlight is known to affect mental health, making daily life in Svalbard quite the challenge. Would you be able to handle months of total darkness or endless daylight? These extremes are part of what makes Svalbard a bucket list destination for the adventurous traveler. The polar night, despite its challenges, offers one of nature's most spectacular phenomena, the northern lights. Visitors flock to Svalbard in winter to witness the aurora borealis dance across the sky, a breathtaking light show caused by solar particles interacting with the Earth's atmosphere. Besides admiring the lights, travelers also indulge in winter activities like skiing, snowmobiling, and hiking. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Doomsday Vault. While the polar bears and stunning landscapes draw most visitors, Svalbard also houses one of the world's most important and secure facilities, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Often called the Doomsday Vault, this facility, located deep inside a sandstone mountain near Longyearbyen, was built in 2018 for $9 million with the mission of safeguarding the world's crop diversity in case of a global catastrophe. The vault stores over 1 million seed samples from more than 4,000 different species, representing about 85% of global food crop diversity. Protected by the surrounding permafrost and designed to survive natural disasters like earthquakes or even nuclear war, the vault is a symbol of hope for future generations. What makes this vault truly special is its sheer resilience. Svalbard's extreme cold plays a critical role in the preservation process. Even without human intervention, the natural environment helps ensure the long-term viability of these seeds. The vault is kept at a stable temperature of -8 degrees Celsius with low humidity, which ensures that the seeds can survive for centuries. If power were ever to fail, the surrounding permafrost would act as a natural cooling system, keeping the temperature low enough to protect the seeds. In essence, the vault is self-sustaining, making it an invaluable resource for the global community. Seed banks from around the globe send their samples to this facility, where they are packed in airtight, moisture-resistant aluminum bags to prevent any damage from humidity or pests. These seeds, which represent crops like wheat, rice, maize, and many others, form a crucial backup to the world's food supply. If ever a crisis, such as climate change, war, or disease, decimates regional crops, nations can draw from the vault's supply to restore agriculture. Could you imagine that a remote Arctic island holds the future of global food security in its icy grip? This vault stands as a testament to international cooperation, with countries from all over the world contributing to the project. The symbolic importance of this initiative cannot be overstated. This is not just a Norwegian effort, but a global one. Even during times of political tension, nations work together to ensure that future generations have access to food. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault represents humanity's commitment to preserving life, no matter what may come. The unusual policy on death. Svalbard's unusual relationship with death is not just a quirky fact, but a reflection of how the extreme Arctic environment shapes even the most fundamental aspects of life. The preservation of bodies in the permafrost raises unique challenges that extend beyond simple logistics. For example, scientists have expressed concerns that the perfectly preserved bodies from the early 20th century might still contain live strains of deadly viruses like the Spanish flu, which could theoretically pose a risk to modern populations if thawed out. In addition to public health concerns, the issue of limited space also plays a role. Svalbard's cemeteries are small, and with the ground frozen for most of the year, digging graves becomes a near impossible task. As a result, the government advises terminally ill people to move to the mainland, ensuring they receive proper medical care and can be buried under more suitable conditions. Interestingly, even though the number of people dying on Svalbard is low, the fact that the permafrost could preserve their bodies indefinitely makes the island somewhat of a time capsule. It's a reminder that life in Svalbard is not just about survival in the present, but also about confronting the lasting effects of its frozen landscape. Isn't it amazing how even death is influenced by the Arctic climate here? Strict regulations on pets. In addition to the ban on domestic cats and the stringent regulations on dog ownership, Svalbard's efforts to maintain its delicate ecosystem go even further. For example, dogs that are brought into Svalbard must undergo a strict quarantine process to ensure they don't carry any diseases that could potentially spread to the local wildlife. The authorities are particularly concerned about diseases that could affect the Arctic fox population or marine mammals, both of which are integral to the archipelago's biodiversity. Moreover, dog breeds considered more suited to harsh climates, such as huskies and other sled dogs, are favored on Svalbard. These dogs not only play a role in traditional transportation methods but are also a key part of the local culture, particularly for the numerous dog sledding tours that are a major attraction for visitors. However, owners must ensure that their dogs are kept under control at all times, as an unleashed dog could cause significant harm to the wildlife or themselves in an area where predators like polar bears roam freely. Pet owners in Svalbard must also adhere to stringent waste disposal laws. Given the pristine nature of the environment, even dog waste is treated seriously. Owners are required to pick up after their pets and dispose of waste in designated areas to minimize any impact on the fragile Arctic soil. With such strict regulations in place, living with pets in Svalbard requires a level of responsibility and awareness not found in many other parts of the world. Could you imagine the level of dedication it would take to care for a pet under these extreme conditions while preserving the natural environment? Safety and low crime rate in Svalbard. Despite its remote location and harsh living conditions, Svalbard is one of the safest places on Earth. With a population of just under 3,000 people, the tight-knit community fosters a sense of social responsibility that keeps crime rates extremely low. In Svalbard, everyone knows each other, and in such a harsh climate, cooperation is key to survival. Life in Svalbard is far from easy. The temperatures drop well below freezing for most of the year, and survival requires a certain level of humility. The people here understand that disruption could make life much more difficult, which likely contributes to the peaceful way of life. There is little desire to commit crimes when simply living day to day can be a challenge in itself. In fact, crime is so rare that residents don't even lock their doors. In the event of an emergency, like a polar bear wandering into town, people need to be able to find shelter quickly. The most notable crime in recent history was an attempted bank robbery in 2018, which was swiftly resolved and resulted in the perpetrator being sent to mainland Norway. Would you feel comfortable leaving your doors unlocked in such an extreme environment? For the people of Svalbard, trust and safety run deep. Svalbard's glaciers, a kingdom of ice. Svalbard's glaciers are more than just breathtaking natural formations. They are living records of the Earth's climatic history. Every layer of ice tells a story of atmospheric changes, volcanic eruptions, and even ancient solar activity. Glaciologists from all over the world flock to Svalbard to extract ice cores, which provide a detailed timeline of climate patterns spanning thousands of years. These findings not only help scientists understand past environmental conditions, but also offer crucial insights into the future of our planet as we face the challenges of global warming. As the Arctic heats up faster than any other region on Earth, Svalbard's glaciers are a vital source of data for tracking the acceleration of climate change and its impact on sea levels. But glaciers in Svalbard aren't just a topic for scientists. For the adventurous traveler, they offer an incredible playground of ice and snow. Imagine hiking through the crackling ice fields, where every step echoes through the frozen landscape, or paddling through the icy waters alongside towering blue icebergs. For thrill seekers, glacier climbing provides the ultimate test of endurance and skill, scaling steep ice walls that glisten under the midnight sun. And let's not forget the unique wildlife that calls these glaciers home. Seals, Arctic foxes, and even polar bears are frequent visitors to these frozen realms, adding an element of excitement and unpredictability to every expedition. Would you dare to trek across these ancient icy giants in one of the planet's most extreme environments? Newark-Alesund, the remote Arctic research hub. At a staggering 78 degrees 56 minutes north, New York Alisund is one of the northernmost and most remote research stations in the world. Located on the island of Spitsbergen, part of the Svalbard archipelago. This tiny settlement was originally a coal mining town, but has since transformed into an international scientific research hub. New York Alisund is home to around 35 scientists year-round. And during the summer months, its population swells to 100 to 150 as additional researchers and occasional tourists arrive to take advantage of the unique Arctic environment. New York Alisund's strategic location makes it an ideal spot for studying climate change, glaciology, and Arctic ecosystems. The settlement houses research stations from over 10 different countries, including Norway, Germany, the United Kingdom, and Japan. These teams conduct a wide variety of studies, from atmospheric research to wildlife monitoring, all aimed at understanding the impacts of climate change on the polar regions and the planet as a whole. To protect the sensitive scientific instruments used for this important work, New York Alisund is a designated radio silent zone. This means that no one is allowed to use radios, mobile phones, or other electronic devices that could interfere with the delicate equipment. It adds a layer of isolation to an already remote and harsh environment, emphasizing the seriousness of the work being done here. New York Alisund also holds historical significance as a launch point for some of the earliest polar expeditions. It was from here that explorers like Roald Amundsen set out on ambitious missions to the North Pole, including the famous 1926 Amundsen-Ellsworth-Nobel Trans-Arctic flight, one of the first successful air crossings of the Arctic. Today, the legacy of exploration lives on in the work of the scientists who call this frozen outpost home. Birdwatching, a haven for Arctic birds. Svalbard is not just a frozen wasteland, it's a thriving haven for Arctic wildlife. Every summer, millions of migratory birds arrive on the archipelago, turning Svalbard into one of the best birdwatching destinations in the world. Among the species you can spot are Arctic terns, puffins, falcons, and various seabirds. Two prime birdwatching spots include Jordan Bay and the Spitsbergen Reserves, where large colonies of birds nest. The rich marine life around Svalbard ensures that these birds are well fed, with plenty of fish and krill to sustain them during their brief summer stay. Birdwatchers from all over the world flock to Svalbard in summer to catch a glimpse of rare species in their natural habitat. Isn't it amazing how life can thrive even in such a seemingly inhospitable place? Visa-free residence and work. One of the most intriguing aspects of Svalbard is its visa-free policy. Thanks to the Svalbard Treaty of 1920, anyone from any country can live and work in Svalbard without a visa or work permit. However, while it might seem like a dream for those looking to escape modern life, the reality of living here is not for the faint-hearted. The high cost of living, combined with extreme climate conditions, means that only the most resilient individuals choose to make Svalbard their home. Most residents are employed in mining, tourism, or scientific research. The isolation, cold, and challenging living conditions make this a place for the most adventurous and determined people. Svalbard is a land of extremes, where survival is a challenge, yet life thrives. From polar bears to glaciers, from the Doomsday Vault to the midnight sun, this Arctic paradise offers a glimpse into a world unlike any other. In this travel documentary, we've explored the fascinating realities of Svalbard, a place where nature dominates and humanity must adapt to survive. Would you ever want to visit or live in a place as remote and wild as Svalbard? Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible travel content. Stay tuned for more epic adventures from us.